going on, guys? It's Cabelius from Rockwall Ford. It's truck month. Come on down. We got plenty of F-150s, 250s, 350s, whatever you need. Come on in. Let's get them on the road and get you out the door. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to More Than Just a Game. I'm Chris Pena with Rockwall County Game Day, a little show that we do here on Wednesday nights. It's good to be back with you guys, and we have a fun show lined up for you tonight. If you didn't see my little video that I put out tonight after I get through rambling here the first 10 minutes or so, 5 p.m., Coach Williams, and we got a few basketball players. Baseball is on the schedule tonight, but 5 p.m., Rockwall basketball. Mr. Hudson, Mason Shepard, and Noah Santoro will be joining us to kind of celebrate their season and talk about some basketball stuff. At 5:25, we have Rockwall ISD newly hired athletic director Greg Priest. He will be in the house, and be good to catch up with the new Rockwall AD. I've met him a couple of times, and I'm really excited to talk with him. He's got a lot of golf in his background history, so I'm sure we'll have some good conversation there. 5:45, Rockwall baseball. Coach Rose, and he will be bringing in a few players. So we'll catch up with the Yellow Jackets as they open up district last night, and then we'll close the show out at 6:15 with the Royce City Lady Bulldogs. We'll talk a little softball, and that's going on right now as district has kicked off for them last week. So a few of these teams have 2 or 3 games under their belts, but that's the lineup. We'll talk some softball to end the night. This segment brought to you by Rockwall Ford. Shop the Rock, rockwallford.com. And man, we have a lot going on. Soccer playoffs, they're about to start. Of course, the I-30 Classic was last night. The boys played and the girls played. Heath gets a 3-2 win to win the I-30 Classic last night, and Rockwall, the girls, they win 3-2 last night. So the school split wins as far as that goes, and we will be following the soccer playoffs as soon as they start. You can count on us to be there during the playoffs. So we will talk soccer a little bit more down the road. But all the teams from the Rockwall ISD, Rockwall girls and boys, they make the playoffs. Heath girls and boys, they make the playoffs. So there will be hopefully these games get staggered a little bit so that we can be as many games as possible. Let's see. Next to me, as you can see, so the Jet Williams Award, this trophy, this is the 3rd annual. We got to add Mr. Ben Shepard from Forney on there. I've got some nameplates being made right now. Of course, this award is sponsored by Hudson Financial Group and 7AR Baseball. This week, we will release our players to watch. So it'll probably be a list of like 20 to 25 players. And really, if you've not followed us for this award before, here's how it kind of goes. I'll kind of go over this really quickly. So we only look at stats and we do rankings based off district play. So really everything prior to district, the preseason stuff, we don't look at any of those stats. We don't look at how players performed because we do know coaches are moving people around. They're trying different things out, and then to be honest, some of the opponents, some of the teams, they play in some bigger tournaments, and so we want to be able to evaluate the teams as best as possible. So we take tournament play out of it, and so this is a district award only. Some important notes around the Jet Williams Award, these first players watch lists that'll come out. If a player's name is not on there, it's not a huge deal, right? Number one, I will miss things. Sometimes I just miss because I do have access to all the stats. The coaches, they give me access to everything, and so I will base that list really off of the stats. And that's how the stats during district play is how we determine who our final 10 will be. From there, we go on to a voting process. There's about 4, 5, 6 people that will vote on the 3 finalists for the award, and then we'll have those 3 in here, and the same people that vote will vote a winner for the award, which everybody who's a finalist, those 3 players, they will get some goodies and things like that, and the eventual winner will get a scholarship award amount to be determined this year. But the main thing is these watch lists and things that we do in baseball for it's the Rockwall County Game Day Player of the Year, and that Player of the Year wins the Jet Williams Award. The main thing to remember if you're looking at this watch list or whatever, it's fluid. It's going to change. There's going to be people that move in and out, and probably about I'd say about halfway through district, I'll actually start ranking them, and I'll release those rankings 1 through 10. Those are just my rankings. That does not mean ultimately that that's going to be the final deal. Certainly, players can move in and out of spots. They could have a great few weeks, and they could find themselves, ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, and then baseball's tough. So you could have a week or 2 where you're off, and then you see a name start sliding down. You see other names start sliding up. So it's fluid. We do the best we can. I do the best I can. This is a lot. I say we. During this first phase of it, when we're trying to figure out the top 10, say my audio is kind of breaking up a bit. So hang on, let me fix that. My audio is breaking up. I got that message. Give me 1 second. Check, mic check, 1, 2. All right, let's see. Hopefully that's better. This first part is a lot. I've got to keep up with. If you see the school logos on the screen there, Rockwall Heath, Royce City, Dallas Christian, Harrods Christian, Rowlett, Forney, North Forney. So there's a lot of schools to keep up with and a lot of stats to keep up with, and so it happened. I think it was last year where I or maybe the year before, where I just whiffed on a guy, and he definitely should have been in the final 10 in consideration for a finalist spot. But it's a lot. I go through a lot of stats. I have a lot of access, and I try to do the best I can to make sure that the 10 guys that are in there, they're going to be the stat leaders across their district play, and I make sure that I get representatives from each school. So the first, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 7 spots will be 1 representative from each school, and then there will be like 3 wild cards from there. So, and that'll kind of determine the final 10. What I want people to take away from this, and what I know that Jet and his family want people to take away from this, is that our main goal here is just to recognize kids. It's just to give spotlight on all the programs and to highlight kids. And we don't want it to be like this ugly thing that people get mad because somebody was left out. Our job is to really just highlight kids, and that's my job, and that's the most important thing out of all this. So this later on, probably on Monday or Tuesday, I'm traveling to Florida with the family for spring break on Friday, and then I'll take some time while I'm there to come up with a players watch list, and it won't have any. It's just going to be a lot of names really from all the different teams. So look for that to come out early next week. Let's see what else. Okay. Just a reminder, in just a few minutes, as you can see at the bottom, Rockwall boys basketball, they'll be coming up here, 5:25, newly hired Rockwall athletic director, Greg Priest. He'll be on 5:45. Coach Rose and the Yellow Jacket baseball team, we're going to have them on. And then we'll end the show, our last guest, around 6:15, Roy City softball to end our show. So with that said, I am going to, hopefully we don't have any more audio issues. Feel free to chime in on the chat on Facebook if you're hearing. If you're having trouble with the audio, I'll do my best to fix it as we go along. Again, I'm Chris Pena. It's Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. Spring break's coming up, but there's a lot going on in high school sports, and we're going to try and cover some of it tonight. We will take a short break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Coach Williams and Rockwall boys basketball. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
What's going on, guys? It's Cavalius from Rockwall Ford. It's truck month. Come on down. We got plenty F-150s, 250s, 350s, whatever you need. Come on in. Let's get them on the road and get you out the door. Let's go.
All right, here we go. We're back. We're live here at Rockwall Ford. This segment brought to you by Vice Henley and Dilbeck, attorneys, counselor at law. We appreciate they've been a sponsor of ours for a few years, and we appreciate it. As you can see, Coach Williams joined by Noah, Mason, and Hudson. Coach, the boys basketball team. Coach, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Coach, before we get on to some of the players, just want to talk about the success that this program's had, especially over the last couple of years. I mean, you start to look at Rockwall and you say, all right, man, this is a basketball school, right? And I know you're proud of that, but you make it to pass the regional finals a year ago. You make it to the regional finals this year. Just how proud are you of the program and the kids that are coming in, and what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, just credits to them. We've got a bunch of hardworking guys that have put in the time and individually working on their games, and then they've been a joy to have. Like I said, this group here was very, very close. No egos, so like they enjoyed being around each other. So it makes going to work every day easy and working with those guys. So I've been very, very blessed and privileged to have that. So, but going forward, like you said, we've had two really, really good years, two regional finals back to back. And so just very, very proud of our guys and the program that we've kind of had over these last few years.
You'll have to forgive me, Coach, because Rockwall County Game Day probably started about 5 years ago, so I don't know all the history in Rockwall basketball, but from the recent years and that I've been here and the excitement that's been around all of it, how exciting has it been the last couple of years? Is it different from the past that you've been here? Is this some of the most fun times you've had?
I mean, we've it kind of started when my first year here. We had this guy named Sam Williamson and his group and Alec Grandstaff and that crew. We were able to go get to a regional tournament, and they kind kind of pointed the ship in the right direction. And then we've had some kids that got to go see that, like Hudson was at those playoff games, and he got to go be a part of that as a kid. And now he got to go do it himself and along with these guys. So it's just been over the last 8-9 years, just been a steady progress, and we've been consistent. So proud of our guys.
Yeah, it's been it's been a lot of fun, obviously, to watch and to keep up with the kids and the program. Coach, this year, kind of when you entered the year, I know. Listen, I think every team's goal at the end of the year is to be playing in the last game of the year and to win that game. But any expectations? Did you exceed expectations this year? Where you were. Did you know what you had when you came into this year? You have a team that's coming off a regional finals, and then Hudson gets hurt last year, and now you add him to that. Was there anything that surprised you this year at all?
Not with this group. Like I said, I felt like we had the talent to be able to go do this, but obviously you got to go do it. Mason here was obviously a huge piece of last year that got to that regional final. And then, like I said, Noah Santora was on that team as well. He did a lot of great things, and he improved over the summer and the off season. And then you spoke on Hudson. Like you said, he was having a great, fantastic year until the injury happened. And then credit to him over these last several months of rehab and busting his butt. People didn't see it, but like he's every day working on his rehab and prehab, being able to go get better and get himself back to a point to where he could go be the dominant big fella that we knew he could be. So going in, we felt like we looked good on paper, but like you said, everybody kind of looks good on paper early. So you had to go do it, and I was very excited about getting started with this group and just seeing how Hudson was going to come back. And like I said, he came back a better basketball player. And Mason, like I said, he took that step on from going from a freshman last year. Obviously, he hit a big shot to go send us to a regional tournament. And like I said, I just felt like he took the next step. And then Noah's been unbelievable for us.
Yeah, we're here with Coach Williams and a few of the players, Rockwall basketball. Coach, one more question before we move on to the kids. Kind of looking down your roster today and just looking at what class everybody's in, it doesn't seem like you're losing a ton. You got a few seniors, obviously. Big one with the 6'9" man here, but you have a lot of experience returning. Just how excited are you for the future next year?
Yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, when you got two guys like this coming back, that's going to help. So we got our starting backcourt coming back, and those guys are going to lead the right way. So I know they're going to help get our guys that haven't been coming and getting ready for that. But obviously, you said it. Losing Hudson's going to be big. So we're going to have to figure a way out.
I mean, we didn't need him much. We
still
still made it to the with this guy.
He scored a few points and he grabbed a couple of rebounds. So, but no, we feel good about what we got coming back and you add in Torn Cantu and Cameron Edwards, Luke Barksdale, Ethan Gilbert. We got a good nucleus. So we just, like you said, we still got to go get better though.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, who wants to start here? Is it going to be Noah or is it going to be Hudson? Let's start with Noah. Noah's a junior. You'll be entering your senior year, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on. And, first off, this year, you've obviously make it deep, and the playoff runs, those wins have to be so special. But, can you just talk about this year and how much fun you had?
I thought it was real fun. I thought our playoff run was real fun too. And we just always play well together. We're all close together, and so it was like, we were bonding more than I have in other years. So I thought it was real fun.
The group that you had on the court with you this year, what does it take, to make it that far? As far as selfless acts and just being a good teammate, what does it take to be a good basketball team?
Well, we just all had to, keep our egos down, like he said, and just, stay poised because we all had the skills, but we just need to learn to play together because that's how that's how we did in the playoff run, and that's how we got so far.
Every basketball game is about big moments and just key possessions. Looking at this team and saying, okay, who do I want the ball in their hands? At this time, is it a team where it's like, hey, I feel like we can put the ball anywhere and do what we have to do? Is that kind of how this team's made up?
Yeah, you have everyone. You could trust anyone because your connection's real tight with them. So I think you could give the ball to anyone.
Coach, before I move on to Mason, just expand on Noah and kind of what he meant to the team this year.
He's one of our captains. All three of these guys were captains, but he was a great leader. He does a great job of mentoring guys, like in teaching guys, like in practice, and helping them, whether that's in a drill, whether that's in an assignment, in a rotation defensively, or learning an offensive set. So he did a tremendous job. And like I said earlier, he worked his butt off this offseason to get better and be able to go reach his potential this year. So I'm looking forward to what he's got going into his senior year as well.
Yeah. Well, Noah, keep at it. We'll have an opportunity to see you again next year. And, congratulations on the year. I know it was fun for you. Not the end results you want, but sometimes it's about the journey and not the wins and losses. So I'm sure you'll remember a lot of what happened this past year. Mr. Mason Shepard, sophomore, coming in, and you came on the scene big time last year as a freshman, as Coach mentioned a couple of times, and no longer. I think everybody knew who you were, and was excited when the ball got in your hands this year, and so I know that'll continue going forward. Looking at your time playing, last year and this year, just did it exceed any expectations where you just looked like you were ready for the moment?
Um, this year I chose to step up as a more of a leader now because I have guys around me that I know that can score the ball and guys that know how to play their role very well and that we all connect very well on the court. There was not to piggyback off Noah said, there's no egos around and we just all stayed down and kept working all together as a collective.
When you look ahead towards next year, your junior year, and you look at the guys that are coming in, and obviously you're a captain now, and you'll mature a little bit more, and you'll be expected to take on more of a leadership role. How much do you enjoy being a captain and look forward to being a leader on this team?
I love it. I mean, it's nothing to tell dudes to push themselves harder in practice, tell them what it takes to get so far because we have all been there before. So I just love having a moment to share upon other people and inspire them.
When you look back at this year, I know there was big moments. Is there a big moment that you just kind of sticks out in your mind? What kind of when you think back on this season, like man, that was an awesome moment.
Probably against Adeline or however you say it.
Aldine.
Yeah, Aldine. Yeah.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. That was I felt like that was a big moment for us. They had their crowd. We really didn't. I mean,
Yeah.
It's 2 hours away, and we came, stayed down, and got the job finished.
How difficult is it? Because you brought it up and it made me think of, and I go back to the Waxahachie playoff game and the crowd that they had, and I talked with Coach a little bit after the game about how hostile it seemed there. Do you feed off stuff like that? Is it a motivator?
Yes, sir. I feel like we all are made for those type of moments on our basketball team. I feel like we never shy down from that opportunity.
Yeah, it was fun to watch you play and to come on the scene the way you did, and pick up where the injuries happened last year, and you were able to come in and take the opportunity and seize that moment and and do some big things. So, Coach, there's a lot you can say about Mason, especially coming off the freshman year and being so young. Just the leadership part of it, and the things that underclassmen that are coming in that can pull away from watching a player like that. Well, what can you say about Mr. Mason Shepard?
Just love his humility. Even with all, like you said, the success that he's had, he still comes in and grinds every day in practice, and he puts in the time individually to go get even better and get shots up and work on his game because he wants to be great. He just doesn't want to be good. So just love his humility, love his work ethic, love his attitude.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun to watch. Mason, we're fortunate enough to get to see you for a couple more years. So, it's been fun so far, and congratulations. And obviously, you got a taste of, I mean, right off the bat, freshman and sophomore year of going super deep. And I know that I know you're going to want some of that next year. So it'll be fun to watch the journey as you go forward. Hudson. Man, you obviously you get a lot of attention, and it's mainly just because your size, right? You can't really play. You don't have any basketball skills. You're just tall. You know, I want to go back to last year because I really didn't get to talk to you. You know, after the injury last year, and this is really my first time talking with you. But handling adversity and putting in the work to come back stronger, but also being a good teammate throughout that process and being there for your teammates. Just what was that whole journey like for you?
I mean, for me, I just had to realize it was like God's timing, not mine. Like I'm not. Everything's up to Him. So like it happened for a reason. I just tried to stay positive about it the whole time and try to impact like the game and from the sidelines and my teammates. And just try to be positive the whole time through it and just slowly work back to where I was.
And coming back now your senior year, and you know what you have in a team that's coming back. How excited were you at the beginning of the year to know that the players that are coming around and probably had some pretty big expectations?
Yeah, I mean we said it since like before the season even started. Like we want to win state, we want to go to state, like that kind of stuff. And I feel like we all believed it. Like we weren't just saying it. And like to see how like these guys work like in the off season, the rest of my teammates, like I had full faith in just like our abilities and how far we can go.
The role of captain, how important was it to you? If you even knew it, was it to make sure that you're adding on to the legacy, that you're trying to not just win a state championship this year, but you're trying to make the program better for future, next year and kids that are coming on. There's kids in the stands watching, right? There's kids there. How important was it? Was all that is that to you? Just to be a good role model and leave your mark at Rockwall, so that future kids that are coming in can live up to a regional finals, and beyond.
I mean, as like Coach Williams touched on it earlier, like I grew up watching like Rockwall basketball, like watching Sam and Alec and all the guys play, like seeing, like I'd see them like after practice on the gun shooting, just that kind of stuff. So it made me like want to be like them in a way. So I'm hoping to do that with like the younger generation too, and to have a positive impact on them for sure.
Your comeback was remarkable. I thought you had an outstanding playoff run, and you looked like you were just ready for the moment. Could you ask for obviously you could ask for a state championship? That would have been better. But was your senior year? How special was that for you?
Well, prior to this year, I've never won a playoff game, so it was really special to me. And I knew like the team we had, like we could be really good. So I was just trying to take advantage of that opportunity.
The have you committed yet? I went back and
commitment coming soon.
Okay, commitment coming soon. Let me ask you, as a senior, just the whole it's a crazy time for high school athletes, seniors that are coming out, especially those that are aspiring to play at the next level. How difficult is that, and what does it take for kids to say, okay, I'm a sophomore, that's really when it starts in juniors, really when it starts, I'm going to play at the next level.
Yeah.
What's that whole process like?
I mean, it's definitely, it can be stressful, especially like for me, like after an injury and like that, a lot of coaches, like they want you to come back and play at the high level that you're playing at. So it's definitely stressful in a way. But I just try to like go out there and have fun and just play the best of your abilities and I feel like good things will happen.
It's good to be wanted, though, right? It's good to have phone calls and schools that are looking at you and things like that. Yeah, I think that's a real difficult part, especially junior year. That's a critical year, I think, for recruiting. I'm no expert, but just me looking at it, and to have that injury and then to be able to come back, probably says a lot about you. And some school that you can commit to soon is going to be really happy. Coach, the senior here, I know what he means to you, but just your thoughts on Hudson leaving the program and the mark that he left.
Yeah, it's going to be super weird not having him there, not seeing him there. Like I said, he's been on varsity since he was a freshman. And so, like, the last 4 years, like I said, I've always had this big kid, and he's a fun-loving kid around and hardworking kid. So it's going to be weird not having him around. But I know he's destined for great things because of how hard he works, and I'm anxious to see what the future holds for him, because I know he's going to go attack it like he did it here in Rockwall.
Coach, what's the Hudson? Obviously, it's been a pleasure, and wish you all the best, and I can't wait to hear what's next for you. But congratulations on this year, and glad you got to experience and taste the playoffs and make a run like that. I know it was exciting for you, so congratulations and good luck to you, Coach. 200 plus wins you have, and that's obviously something to celebrate and a really a cool milestone for you. What's the secret recipe? What's the to building a program? What's the secret?
Have guys like this. So no, to be honest, yes, I've been super fortunate to have really, really good kids. Not only good kids, but hardworking kids, and obviously talent comes a big portion of that. And like I said, if they're coachable with talent and work ethic, it makes my job super easy. And so, and that's what these guys have done, and that's why we've been able to be successful here and be able to go get those.
Yeah, Coach, you always you seem even keel, and I think I talked to you after it might have been the Waxahachie game that I interviewed you, and that was super exciting. And you talked about how it's stressful for me during those times. But I'm sure at the end of the day, I mean, it's got to be a joy, just like you mentioned it, just working with the kids and watching them grow. And it's gonna be fun next year again, and hopefully they gel together, and I'm sure they will. And we'll be talking about another deep playoff run, if not further, next year. So
hopefully, thank you.
Coach, I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on, and it was just a moment for us to say congratulations, celebrate you guys on the job you did. All the guys that aren't here, the job that they did, and I have to believe. I mean, if you go to the regional finals a couple times, well, you're a basketball school in my eyes. I mean, that's a team, that's a program that people look out for, and they're going to say, okay, when we get to round 2 or 3, you expect to see Rockwall hanging around, and they're going to be a threat to move on. So, congratulations on all the success.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yep. All right, so we are going to let them go now and take a break. Are y'all getting ready? Spring break? Y'all getting ready for spring break? Are y'all going anywhere?
I'm going to the Bahamas.
You're going to the Bahamas
actually, yeah.
tomorrow?
I'm going to Port.
All right. Yeah.
No, I'm going to Colorado.
Coach, you sticking around?
Going to Washington.
Okay, going to Washington. Yeah, we're taking off Friday morning, like at 3 a.m. We're driving to Destin, and so the family was dead set on seeing the USS Alabama, and I said, I'm not doing it on the way back, because once I want to get back home, I'm going back home. So now I have to drive at 3 a.m. Friday morning. So enjoy your spring break, guys. And, once again, I appreciate you coming on. All right, we're going to go to break. When we come back, newly hired Rockwall ISD athletic director, Mr. Greg Priest, he joins us. Really excited to talk with him and, find out, about his time here in Rockwall so far. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. And we're back. We're live here at Rockwall Ford, Chris Pena, Rockwall County Game Day. This segment's brought to you by Hudson Financial Group. Hudson Financial Group, the presenting sponsor for the Jet Williams Award that is kicked off this year. And as I mentioned earlier, more coming out about that. And I'll release the players to watch list probably on Monday or Tuesday next week, and then we'll go forward and have some fun with that. I'm pleased to be joined by newly hired Rockwall ISD Athletic Director Greg Priest. I said that right, Priest, right?
That's right.
You a coach? Coach okay? Coach is all right. All right. I when the previous AD, I was like, Coach is okay, and he's like, yeah, Coach is fine. Coach, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining and coming on. Yeah, first time guest, and I really appreciate it. First off, you come from Tyler ISD, so you're familiar with Rockwall, obviously, with sure. Tyler Legacy being in the District 10-6A. But how's everything been since taking over the position?
Oh, it's been great. Just being able to meet all the people, and it's day 3, so still got a long way to go. But everybody's been super nice, and just looking forward to the next challenge.
The coming from Tyler RC, first off, it's East Texas is fun. Everything, especially the further you go out, it's just a little different out there. But especially when you talk about football and things like that, it's fun to be out there. Coming over to Rockwall ISD, kind of what piqued your interest to come over?
Well, as you kind of mentioned, it's been, I've been in the district with them for 11 years, and just kind of see, you've got a ringside seat to it, and seeing all the success that they've had, and who wouldn't want to be a part of that? Right. So, been a lot of success. Being able to see the coaches, and you got great leadership here. Pretty much all the way down, and so really excited about being able to work with those guys, and just trying to continue on to what they've done and trying to build on it.
For those that don't know you, and maybe some males like me who they see the title that Rockwall has a new AD, and that's all they read. They don't read the bio. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you came from?
Yeah, I'm originally from Canton, and so a little East Texas, and I started out my coaching career. I played football, basketball, and baseball in high school, and had a little cup of coffee playing college baseball, and never thought I would get into golf, of coaching college golf. I always thought I'd be a football, baseball coach, and kind of got really lucky. It was the right place at the right time, and had a career in college golf and was pretty successful at it, and with stops, TJC, went to Sam Houston as a head coach, and then when I went to Texas as an assistant, was there for 3 years, and that helped me land a job at Baylor, and had a really good career at Baylor, and so really fun. But I did that, coach golf for 20 years, and then I always knew I wanted to move into administration. And when that job came open at Tyler ISD, then that was a job that I wanted to look at, and was fortunate enough to get it, and had a blast there.
It makes sense. Football, baseball, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna be a golf coach. It just fits perfectly. I mean,
Yeah.
I should have done it backwards. I played golf all my life, and I should have been a football coach maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I read a little bit about some high school stops, coaching golf and things like that. Was that prior to?
Yeah, I was at my first job was at Pleasant Grove in
Yeah.
Texarkana, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I finished second my first year. Actually, a guy that coached me in high school was the coach at Lindale, and they beat us by a shot. And so he's always got bragging rights on me on that. And so did that for 2 years. Was very fortunate to be able to get the job at TJC and kind of. I thought it was pretty easy because I went in and we won 2 national championships that first year, and it only got tougher from there. So it is hard to win a national championship and to get there, and it's but had a really fun trying to get there.
Well, I Pleasant Grove stuck out to me. I don't know, you've got so many other important things to do that I'm sure you don't know a lot about us. But I started this about 5 or 6 years ago, and really the goal was to add to what Rockwall ISD was doing to promote athletes, and then reach out to schools like Royce City and Dallas Christian, Heritage Christian Academy. Now we've kind of started touching on some Forney schools and things like that. But our only goal is to put out positive stories and just highlight the kids for the job they're doing on and off the field. But this all started for me I was working for Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
Okay.
And they asked me to travel east, and I went to Pleasant Grove, and they asked me to give an award at halftime. Well, there was this right here out there. It's Texarkana game day is really big out there, and I just fell in love with it. And so PG stuck out to me because I was like, man, I know PG. As a matter of fact, that was when I really fell in love with high school football because of Coach Josh Gibson, who's at Pleasant Grove, and tried to become as really close as I could to him. So I just saw Pleasant Grove, and it stuck out to me. I'm like, man, what a great place, what a great school, and I just love everything about being out there. Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, talk about Dave Campbell. When I went to Baylor, Dave Campbell was at Baylor, and so every time after we finished the tournament, he would come in and interview me and sit down. So having the opportunity to sit down with Dave Campbell every week and after events and being able to talk to him was a treat, man. That was definitely really special to be able to do that.
When you look back, as you've built come on to be an athletic director at Tyler and now Rockwall, how important was that all to understanding kids and athletics, and understanding the whole dynamics of it to be able to be in a position like this? How much do you pull from past experience like that?
I think you always do. I think, the longer you coach, and definitely kids have changed, just the dynamics and things. And so the way you coached in 1990, you got to evolve. And so being able to do that, I think, but I really do. I look back on all my experiences throughout the years, and you always kind of think of what you needed in an athletic director and things like that. And so, I think I really try to make sure that I'm there for our coaches and want them to know that we're supporting them and doing everything we can to help them be successful.
Yeah, we're talking with newly hired athletic director Greg Priest. He's 3 days in. He's 3 days in. 3 days old. Obviously, you kind of touched on it earlier. That all the great things that are going on in this school district, the fun, healthy rivalry between Heath and Rockwall, and what all that means. But when you're just when you talk about trying to build upon what's already here, what's kind of the first step? What are we looking forward to here at Rockwall ISD? That's a big old question that could get, I don't want to get you in trouble, but just how much are you looking forward to the opportunity for it?
Yeah, I think that's you're a competitor, man, and you want to continue to get better. So I think it's, and that's kind of my plan right now. It's just, what I'm trying to do is trying to get around to each coach and sit down one-on-one with them to kind of see what they need, what they expect from an athletic director, what I can do for them. Because, we're all in this together. And, this is about doing everything we can. You only get one shot with these athletes. and you got to make it a great experience. And so we got to do everything that we can to provide everything that we can for them. So you're preparing them for life, and it's more than just sports. And so that character development, and a coach is going to you hate to say it, but when you in 20 years, when these guys come back, or 25 years, and they come back for their units, they're going to sit down, they're going to talk. The one thing, they may not remember their English teacher, or any of those things, or things that went on, but they remember the coach, and those experiences on Friday nights, and the games. And so and so those are lasting impressions that you have, and to mold those kids.
Yeah, 100%. It's just it's really just a joy to just see the kids interact with the coaches, and see the coaches, the impacts that they make on the kids. And so it's a fun deal. Your with the unique situation with Rockwall and Heath, and how close they are, and what have you taken from these two schools so far, and just what it kind of all means?
Well, I know it's definitely they're definitely rivals, but I'm coming from a place too where you had Legacy and Tyler High, so two things right there, and so I'm very familiar with how that thing went, and I think this is going to be very, very similar. And but it's I think it's you definitely want some bragging rights, and I think each side of town takes pride in that, and but it's gonna be fun to be able to experience that. And I haven't experienced my first Friday night in that, but we'll get to experience the baseball, and so that'll be my first one, and so that'll be I'm looking forward to those things.
Yeah, when we talk about experiences and memories that the kids have, and just the overall, I think it's certainly a big topic. But just the athletic facilities. How much are you looking forward to being part of? Just trying to build up what these kids have, so that they can have better quality of it.
And I think we always talk about the front porch. Athletics is not the most important room in the house, but it's the most visible, and you're going to have more people coming into those facilities than anything else on campus. And so we've got to make sure that we take care of the front porch, and that's taking care of our facilities, and making sure when people come in, because you only get one first impression, and so when people come in, and it may be their first time to a game in Rockwall, and you want to be, when they come into that facility, that that they think, wow, man, Rockwall has it going on.
Yes.
And so that's we've got some improvement there that we've got to do, and that's going to take all of us, of taking care of everything, because we want to have the best facilities, and we want this to be a place when people come in, that they that attracts them here.
Mm-hmm.
And but we owe it to our kids to have the best for them, and hopefully we can do that.
Yeah, I've got a son that will be in 9th grade at Rockwall next year, and he plays athletics and plays soccer, and it'd be fun to see. It's just be fun to see this district continue to grow, and the facilities that continue to grow, and obviously with the leadership that we have here, it's really, really good. And the coaches that lead some of these teams, they're just really good, and it's a special place to be. And as I know, you already know, I'm not telling you something you don't know, but it's worth mentioning anytime you get the opportunity. Let's talk golf really quick.
Okay.
When you look back on your golf career as a coach, has it bled over into your personal game?
I'm getting to play more golf now. During that time, I did not play a lot of golf. You're at the golf course every day, and when you have time off, the last place I wanted to go was to the golf course. And so over the last couple of years, I've started playing, and kind of getting to where I can play a little bit, not as good as I want to, but because I'm not going to practice.
Right.
I'm just going to go play, have fun, and but I enjoy playing now, and getting out and hacking it around a little bit.
We've got some talented players in this district. Have you had the opportunity to meet some of them?
Yeah, actually last night I went went to the Rockwall game, and I was sitting up in the stands, and some guys were sitting by me, and yeah, you could tell they were golfers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked them if they play for Rockwall, and they said yes. And so we got to visit a little bit, but yeah, I look forward to meeting them and just getting to know everybody. That's going to be the challenge. Is getting out and meeting the kids and being able. But I will tell you, I'm going to be at a lot of events. I want them to know that I'm there to support them, so yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of people pulling you towards them, and a lot of coaches and you a lot of players out there, on all these teams. It's overwhelming sometimes, especially at the 6A level, the amount of kids that are out here and the amount of coaches. But it truly is fun. I just love being out there and being around them. But before I let you go, when we talk about, Rockwall ISD and the athletics, how impressed are you with the amount of talent that is around here and how serious these athletics are?
It's pretty impressive. And like I said, I've been able to watch it for 11 years and see all the kids that have come through here. And, I had a son that played, and I've got a daughter that plays volleyball. And so just being able to see all those sports and it's going to be exciting to be a part of it and try to help along the way, and do everything that we can to help further their careers.
Well, and we will. We're gonna have to get out and play golf one day.
Yeah,
I don't know when or how, but we will make it happen. And I really appreciate you coming on. I thought it'd be a great opportunity for some of our viewers to be able to get to hear your voice and see your face and kind of learn a little bit about you.
Yes, sir.
But we're excited. We're excited to have you on. I know I'm a one-man show, right? But I know a lot of folks are happy anytime you get somebody in place, permanently. That's a good thing, and now we can all move forward and know who we need to call when something's not going our way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we're here for everybody, so
yeah. And Kay's great. Yeah.
For sure. She runs it.
She's amazing.
I can tell you that. I don't know if you could make it without her.
Yeah.
And so she's an integral part of that athletic department, and she knows how to get it done. So
absolutely. Well, Coach, good luck. Enjoy your time.
Yeah,
I'll say hi anytime I get an opportunity to. Good luck. Have some fun, and we look forward to seeing where Rockwall ISD Athletic goes, and no doubt it's in a good spot. And congratulations on
yes, sir.
On
Thank you so much.
Yep. Okay, we're going to. That's Mr. Greg Priest, Athletic Director. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Coach Rose will be on deck.
What's going on, guys? It's Cabelius from Rockwall Ford. It's truck month. Come on down. We got plenty F-150s, 250s, 350s, whatever you need. Come on in. Let's get them on the road and get you out the door. Let's go.
One. And we're back. We're live here at Rockwall Ford. This segment brought to you by 7AR Baseball. We appreciate all the support that they give us. And we're joined by Rockwall Varsity Baseball, Coach Rose. We got Victor, we have Hudson, and EJ. Coach, thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you on. I get excited, because, you get the opportunity to talk a lot of teams, but, sometimes some of these teams carry some weight in the States, and they're always recognized as one of the top teams, one of the top programs in the States. So it's always a joy to have Rockwall Baseball on. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Coach, a couple of things I want to get into. One, I was kind of going back before we get to the kids here, and I was just, looking at the program, and since 5 years or so, this program averages over 30 wins a season, and that's coming off of Yellow Jackets. Baseball around here, they don't run from competition early on. They play good quality opponents, and they want to be up against the best. How do you what's the secret sauce there that you're able to just this isn't like you have a professional where you got 3 or 4 guys that are just going to be with you for 10 years. You got to constantly turn over. What's the secret sauce to keep a program like this going?
Well, of course, you go back, and it's a pretty deep tradition with Rockwall baseball. Going back to late '90s, early 2000s with Coach Talley and then Coach Payne, and they made some state tournament runs, a couple regional final runs, and then when I came in 2019, first year, it wasn't really a change anything. It's just kind of try and build on that. So yeah, we've tried to schedule. Always want to schedule as tough as we can early before we get to district. Schedule some tough non-district games in the middle of district. And I just talked to these guys today. We don't want to peak early in the year. We don't want to peak in the middle of the year. We're trying to peak when we get to the playoffs, and and it's something we've been able to do since I've been here. Going back to 2019, we've been in at least the 4th round every year, and then 2 of those being regional finals. So the goal ever since, even before me, the goal is to win a state championship, and you're not going to do that by playing a soft schedule and running up your record. That doesn't do us any good. We want to have a good record, but we want to have it against the best teams that we could play.
Yeah, when you I talked about it earlier. This is high school, so you're constantly replacing pieces, and you may have a year where you get the majority of it back, but you still got to have guys that come in and get it. What's the key to the youth baseball programs around here, and having the kids continue to develop so that by the time they come to see you, they're ready to go?
Yeah, our youth programs are strong. Select programs are strong in this area. And I like to use the culture word, and I think there's high expectations when they come in into baseball camp when they're in, third, fourth, fifth, sixth grade and on up. They come in and we kind of preach it to them when they're little. When they come in, hey, we're trying to win a state championship when you get here, and we're trying to turn around and give you an opportunity to play college ball and pro ball if you can.
Looking at your lineup, coach, and some of your roster, I mean, it looks like a deep roster. It looks like there's some heavy hitters in your lineup, and you get some pitching involved in it. Coming into this year, just looking at the roster, your first thought on the team you have, and then the success that they had in the tournaments, just overall.
Yeah, going in last year, we were kind of inexperienced. We had a lot of new faces. These three guys were new to varsity last year, and and we ended up playing really well in the playoffs. And I think that's carried over into this year. The amount of experience that we've had, with guys and being in the thick of it, being in the fight, and you can see that with stuff that they do on the field. It carries over, and it's noticeable to me. It doesn't always bounce our way, but over time, it's going to because of our experience and because the way these guys get after it on the field, and going through the tournaments, we played really well. Coming into last night, we got punched in the mouth a little bit last night, but that happens in baseball, and it's just how you respond to it.
Well, and I think, Coach, too, I mean, you talked about baseball. I wrote a little post today. Baseball is a game of failures, and but if you can repeat the same thing, if you just understand who you are, if you come up to bat, 10 times, if you have success 3 or 4 of them, you're a really good hitter. And so I think that's kind of what you're talking about is you're gonna take your lumps every once in a while, but if you just keep doing things you're supposed to, it works out.
Stay the course.
Yeah.
Stay the course. Practice hard every day. Work on little things to get better, and that's what we did today.
I'm always impressed, when I go out and I watch pregame. I pay attention to some goofy things sometimes, but the art of pregame warm-ups, balls are going everywhere. You're hitting balls to this person, and everybody's got to throw it to the right person. I got to know, how much work does that involve during the fall? And how I would be so nervous to be on your team because I'm like, I hope I throw it to the right person here.
You're talking to 3 guys. You can talk to them about it. We've I think last year we did not practice it going into district, and it was a little crazy. And I think last night was probably the 5th or 6th time that we've done it because we did it before some tournament games, and it has gotten better. It was better last night. We didn't get anybody hit in the head last night.
I did see the week before the game that I went to last time. The catcher spot. It was a great throw. It just happened to be right on the head. I'm amazed that only 5. You've only done that a few times because I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm scared. I'm scared. I guess I'm more nervous than anything else. But good talking with Coach Rose and a few of the baseball players for Rockwall. Let's start with Victor. Victor, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So, shortstop.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shortstop, right?
Yes, sir.
This team that you have right now, a lot of it, success obviously is some leadership and some attention to detail and things like that. But you have to have fun playing it. If you're not having fun out there, then it's going to show throughout the team. How much fun is it to be on this team this year?
Oh, it's awesome. The guys, we all have a good time in practice, but we mainly focus. Everybody's just trying to do their job the best that they can. I mainly push for leadership. I'm always trying to be out there the best that I can. Leadership, I do everything I can to push. And honestly, we're all doing our part so far. We're doing good.
Being part of the Rockwall baseball tradition, I kind of touched on it earlier about the amount of wins that this team has had over the past few years. Coming into high school and you're going to be a Yellow Jacket, or you come into school, maybe you transfer in. I don't know. Have you always lived in Rockwall?
Yes,
how much does it mean to you? Like, man, I'm playing varsity baseball for a legit program here.
Oh, it's awesome. It feels good to me. Feel the pressure a little bit, but try to stay as cool as I can. Do the best that I can. It feels good though. It's good.
talking about expectations and playoff runs and things like that. Is the player mindset just to just say we just take it one at a time, one inning at a time, one pitch at a time, and just let it take care of itself?
Yes, sir. One pitch at a time, every single time. I always tell my teammates, one pitch at a time. Don't worry about the next one. We got this pitch right here. Focus on that one.
Shortstop's a position that is always in the middle of everything. Literally, it's in the middle of the field and a lot of eyes. And you talked about pressure and things like that. But, it's got to come with a little swag too, right? And it's got to come with a little of confidence with it. I won't say cockiness because I don't like that word, but confidence. How confident are you, and how special is it to be able to play shortstop here?
Very confident, very confident. It is special too as well. I can also feel that it's the confidence level that you need to have to be there. It's definitely high, but I feel like I meet it.
Yeah, the team overall, as you start, you have another game in Roy City Friday night, but just the build up to right now. And the success that you guys have had, and I point to it again. I mean, there's quality wins all over the place, and Coach talked about pacing ourselves and peaking at the right time. Just kind of, what does that mean to you as a player, just to kind of be able to peak at the right time?
Well, mainly going over that. Basically, I agree with Coach when we don't want to peak too early, trying to build off of our season as we go, the wins and the losses. Like I said, every pitch, try to build off of that, do the best that we can to get, as we go, build up in the playoffs and do the best we can there.
And then finally, I said it earlier, baseball is just a game of failures, right? You have to, the averages here, right? Baseball mindset. I played baseball when I was little, but I never played at any kind of level that y'all are playing at. Even though I played in high school, I didn't. I guess you could call it playing. What does it take? To be able to just be part of all that.
Mainly for me, determination, discipline, all of those. If you can do that, I feel like at least you'll be all right. You'll be good.
Well, hey man, keep going at it, keep grinding at it. I've seen y'all play a couple of times, and obviously it's fun to watch Rockwall baseball. Just the entire atmosphere, the way the crowd comes out, the coaches, the pregame warm up, and things like that. And just keep doing your thing. The ball, it'll work out as I know you guys know it will. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
Hudson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's like my dad. That's like the thing that I'm worst at on this show is just remembering names. So the fact that I got all the names right for the basketball team, and I got Greg's name correct, and then now I'm 2 for 2 up here with you guys. This team, when you look at just individuals, just down the lineup, I kind of talked about it earlier. Can you explain the amount of talent that's out there?
I feel like we got a good roster. Like, everyone has their part and does what they do, and that's what makes us special, I feel like.
Did you grow up in Rockwall?
Yes, sir.
So you've seen the Yellow Jacket way, and you've all the JFND spirit and things like that. When you go out and represent your school, what's the most important thing for you?
To be honest, to play the game the right way, just like representing, just like for Christ, and just like try to play the game the right way. To be honest,
learning about what do you learn about yourself? What during the tough times in baseball? What is it about? Is it just about what's the key to success? I should say, in making sure that you can be effective the next game out.
I feel like you have to have more confidence. Like, you could be terrible, but you have to have a lot of confidence in this game. Like, more confidence than you need, to be honest.
And I wanted to add, since you're in the middle, I'm going to ask you this too, because I talked about pregame routine. There's a routine that y'all do. Is it when y'all all hop on the fence? Does that go around the fourth inning?
It's fourth inning.
Okay,
Yeah.
the fourth inning.
Yep.
You've only done that 5 times or so that Coach says. How much practice and work goes into that routine? And is it something that gets better? Are you trying to build on that as the year goes?
We don't practice it at all. We just like go in games and just go for it.
So you just watch players in the past?
Yeah.
Coach, do you know where that started, where that came from?
We started doing it probably I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. And then, it's kind of funny because that song gets played at a lot of college baseball games. I've seen bullpens and teams do it, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I always wonder. I'm like, who started that, and then how did they think of that, and then it's just it's funny. It's one of those things that you're just watching the game. And
I think I'd have to give a lot of credit to Jack Jungles back probably like 2022 when he was a junior. I think he was kind of right in the middle of that. He's a cheerleader now at TCU, so it kind of makes sense.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that. Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I did not know that. I bet you I saw him on the sidelines.
Yeah, former Rockwall left fielder turned TCU cheerleader.
I mean, there you go. That's the key. Coach was a golf coach. He played baseball and football, and then he decided to be a golf coach. Yeah. And now, if you want to be a cheerleader, just play baseball, and you got what it takes. So that's interesting.
You gotta coordinate stuff like that.
100%. Hudson, before I move on to EJ, the legacy, the ball players that have left here, especially over the recent years. I mean, there's just guys everywhere doing big things. What do you take away from those guys? Are those guys you looked up to and you're like, man, I can't wait? What impact have they had on you?
They had a big impact. I watched how they play, idled them a little bit, and just play my game after them sometimes. Yeah.
Did you have a favorite player coming in? You don't have to say Mac. You don't have to or
I think it's Mac. Yeah.
It's a tough question. Probably
a guy that you just like their game and you're like, yeah, maybe I like, I'd love to represent that.
Pearson probably. I looked up to him a lot last year.
Yeah, that guy's. He looks like a man.
First home run last night.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. He looks. But being on the field last weekend in Waco, I was like, man, he just looks bigger. And one of the coaches even made a comment to me, like, yeah, he's probably looks a lot different when you put on 20, 25 pounds. And I was like, yeah, he looked like a big ball player. Hudson, good luck. Good luck to you this week, and I know you're hungry. Friday night, go out there and play within yourself and go get it. That's all I can really say. But this is it's a good program, and you'll be fun to watch. So good luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank
you. EJ, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. We'll 3 for 3 on names and in baseball terms. That means I'm doing really, really well.
Yeah, you are.
Rockwall baseball as a whole, when you enter a program like this, just what are some expectations that you set for yourself?
This program, it's all about working hard. There's a lot of hard workers. Everyone's really good here. So just setting yourself apart by pushing yourself, just trying to make everyone around you better also.
How important is it, making sure that you're picking up teammates? That you are that you understand that people are going to have difficult. It's a long season. You play a lot of games, and sometimes you're tired. But how important is it that each of you out there are making sure that you're picking each other up and you're putting out the right message?
Oh, very important because a lot of failures. Just looking to pick each other up. It's what'll make a good team.
The expectations, the ask from Coach Rose and the assistant coaches out there, what's been the message, that you guys that they're preaching to y'all that you guys have adopted, and how are you making sure that you deliver?
After last year losing those district games early, it's all about what happened doesn't matter anymore. It's all about the next game. Losing last night doesn't really matter in the grand scheme. We got 11 more district games and we're going to give our best game there.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets, they'll travel to Royce City Friday night, 7 o'clock, I believe. And, Coach, just the players that aren't here and the guys that you have here, what can you say about these guys here that are up here with you tonight?
Well, I think we've got a lot of good leadership from up and down our roster, especially the guys back from last year. But, and there's several guys that I could have picked. But, just starting down there with EJ, EJ was kind of our one of our first basemen last year and just kept getting better and better and better, and through the hard work that he's put in since he's been in the program. And, he's a leader, and he's done the same thing this year. And that's why he's been hitting in the 3-hole and, came in and pitched last night because he's very reliable. And just what he's saying, he does a great job of picking up his teammates, And then Hud here's one of our younger guys started last year as a freshman, which doesn't happen very often in 6A baseball. So it kind of lets you know the talent level there, and again, a lot of hard work. But after being in it for a year, a lot more experience now. He's kind of right in the middle of it, and then Vic, again, a lot like EJ, he's worked while he's waited, and that has to happen in our program. We got a lot of good players. We send 7 to 10 guys that go play college baseball every year. So, you may not always be able to step in there and play as a sophomore. You might not play a whole lot as a junior. You might have to wait a little bit. You might have to wait till your senior year. But, Vic, you watch him practice every day. And I said this, 2 years ago. You sit out there and watch, Braden Randall and Micah Kendrick and Dylan Cheek at shortstop, and Vic's right next to him as a sophomore. And I said, watch his hands. His hands are just as good as those guys, and because the way he practices, it's carried over, and he's put his time in, and he's a very good shortstop now.
Yeah, well said, Coach. On these players, I know how proud you are of these players and former players. I wanted to ask you, about former players, and you've got 2 sons that are still doing it, and you've got players that are playing everywhere. As a coach, how proud does that make you to know that, hey, I've got a small fingerprint on that, and I helped them get to where they are. How proud are you about these kids that go on?
I mean, I'm extremely. I think it just it shows that we've worked hard. And that we develop guys. I think it's 21 playing college baseball currently, 10 Division I guys currently right now, and then another 3 guys that are playing pro baseball right now. And it speaks volumes to the community of Rockwall. The youth leagues and the select leagues around here on how good of a job they do as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. You walk into to the stadium and you've got the poster of the
draft poster up there, and it's pretty cool. There's we've gotten updated the last couple of years, and that's kind of the goal, is like be able to put another name or 2 on it every year. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. It's awesome to see, and obviously it does speak volumes.
Plus, I like the visiting teams to look at that on the way in.
Yeah, you got to let them know.
Yeah.
I have a feeling though, Coach, they know already what they got to bring it, and it's business time when they enter that ballpark. Separating Coach as a dad, just when we talk about Mac and having his be the last name called in the draft. That's got to be a proud moment. I don't care where your name's called. It's got to be pretty cool. As a dad, as a father, how special was that moment for you?
Oh yeah, it was extremely cool. It was just a Tuesday in the middle of the summer, and he's coming home from work. And gets a phone call from the Ranger Scout at 4:30, and says, "Hey, we're about to take you." And then I start getting text messages, from before I'd even heard from him. So yeah, it was kind of out of it's kind of out of nowhere, but very, 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 very cool Tuesday at the end of the summer.
I can't imagine.
Very proud of him.
Yeah, as you should be, and the depth of talent around here in baseball is just it's kind of sick. It's ridiculous, and every time you think, all right, I've seen some good players, and then you've got young guys that are coming up that are like, oh, wait till you see this, and wait till you see this, and you're like, well, how do they keep churning out these players, and they're homegrown? It just speaks volume to the community and the coaches, and obviously when you have guys that have been around this Rockwall program and they look up to guys from the past, it does a ton of things for you when these kids are talking about just building the legacy, building the program. Yes, they want to win a state championship, obviously, but the bigger picture is they want to keep building this program and keep making it larger and larger and larger. And y'all have had some amazing success. Congratulations.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Makes everybody better.
Coach, good luck to you Friday night. Good luck to you, gentlemen. Friday night against Royce City on the road, and it's gonna be a fun season. It's gonna be a quick season. These games fly by. They fly by, and I can't believe we're already gonna be at the end of week 1 in district. It's just crazy. And spring breaks. Are y'all scheduled for spring break?
Starting next week.
But are y'all playing?
Yes, we're at Longview on Tuesday, and then we're home on Friday.
Okay, yeah, because I was really bummed last year. Y'all were during spring break last year. Y'all played Heath.
Yep.
And we traveled during spring break. But I watched it in Florida. But good luck to you the rest of the way, Coach. You guys are first class, and I really appreciate your time. And we'll definitely see you again here probably in a couple weeks when I get back in town. So keep swinging it and enjoy the game.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, Royce City softball. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
What's going on, guys? It's Bailey. It's from Rockwall Ford. It's truck month. Come on down. We got plenty of F-150s, 250s, 350s, whatever you need. Come on in. Let's get them on the road and get you out the door. Let's go.
And we're back. We're live here at Rockwall Ford, our final segment of the night. And Royce City Softball. We are joined by Coach Kirkendall and Abby, Bree. Are we seniors?
Yeah, I'm a junior.
Okay, you're a junior. All right. Will you pull your mic up just a little bit? Perfect. All right. names, I got it correct. So I'm going to take, even though I stalled a second, I usually butcher names and call somebody the wrong name all night long, but I got all the basketball players correct. I got all the baseball players correct, and I'm going to take credit 2 for 2. That does not mean that I won't call you Bree and I won't call you Abby at some point, but at the beginning, that's when it counts for me. So, Coach, thanks for joining us, and
Sure.
it's
Thank you
always
for having
it's
us.
always fun to have Roy City on, and specifically Roy City softball. So I appreciate you joining me. Coach, let's start by district play. So you're 2-1 in district.
Yes.
You get a win over Tyler Legacy last night, 12-0. You have the big win versus Forney at home, and it's always good to get. We'll talk more about that win, but it's always cool to have a win like that in front of your home crowd.
Certainly.
And then, of course, you start off the year with Rockwall, and you drop a game to Rockwall, but you answer back with a couple of wins. And I know you have to like to see that from your team. How are they going to respond after a loss, especially when district games are so precious, right? You being able to come back with a couple of wins. Can you talk about your start in district play so far?
Sure. Well, first of all, 2 of the tougher opponents right off the bat. So credit to our girls for, putting the game 1 loss to Rockwall behind them. Well played game by both teams. So, who knows what the future may hold. So a few things could go our way, and maybe we win that game. But again, credit to them for coming back and getting a great home win on Friday. Forney was 16-0 going into that game, ranked number 1 in the metro area in 6A. And Abby pitched a great game. She had 6 strikeouts. There were very few hits in the game. I think it was like a total of, I can't remember. It's been 2 games,
yeah.
but it's a total of like 6-7 hits, maybe something like that. So, and then obviously Bree got the big hit in the bottom of the 7th. So, and not only is it great because of who we won against, but how often do any athletes get a chance, either individually like Bree or as a team, to have a walk-off finish at home, in the bottom of the last inning or in extra innings. We've done that before in years past, but in this particular team, this group of girls who's been together for several years now, have all had big moments. But, that's just one of those times that a lot of people never get to experience. So it was a great experience for them to be able to go through that.
It's something I think we all did as kids, right? We the last pitch, the World Series, or to win the game, and you hit that home run. I mean, we were going to talk about it later, but we'll go ahead and Bree and talk about it now. But at home makes it even more special, right?
Yeah.
Just that moment, you could probably relive it 1,000 times, and it still be just as special. Can you talk about that game?
Honestly, we just went in there. We were like, we just have to play our hardest, no matter the outcome. Just be happy of where we're at, and just play as a team, and just play our hardest together.
Can you remember the at bat?
Yes. So I went up there. I was just looking for a hit, and I remember the pitch before that, or maybe 2 pitches before that, I'd popped it up, and the catcher had missed it. So I was like, oh, I have to make that hurt. And I was just like, wherever this ball is, I'm just going to hit it as hard as I can. And that's what happened.
Yeah, and then the rest is lives in video history, and it'll be a moment that Roy City Bulldog fans just think about the rest of the way this year. What a cool moment, early on in the year. Bree, I'll come back to you, Coach. When you have a win like that, and it's coming off a game that you dropped to Rockwall. How do you build upon that, and obviously you backed it up with a win against Tyler Legacy, but is that something that this team you would like to see them use as a springboard going forward?
Well, I feel like in the early part of the season we had prepared for those types of games well, because we played a really difficult schedule early. Once you add the pitchers that we faced from Rockwall and Forney, who, even if they're underclassmen, I think all 4 of them, because we faced 2 in each game, all 4 of them will eventually pitch in college. So when you add those four, I think we faced somewhere around 10 to 12 future college pitchers, in the first part of our season.
And carrying a record of like 14-5, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, so we were 12-4 in the pre-district, early season. So again, that's very good. We beat several good teams, several ranked teams, and so we lost a game to Melissa, but at the time we kind of felt like that was a moral victory because we held them below their per game home run average. So they're a great team and a loaded lineup. So obviously, but again, the experience of that and to get to play against that caliber of competition only prepares you for the rest of the season. So we played Whitesboro, which is a small school, but they have a pitcher who's a senior. I'm sorry, she might be a junior, but she's committed to a Division I school, and she was definitely one of the best we faced. We lost a really great, close 1-0 game to Canton. They have a senior pitcher who's going to go to Stephen F. Austin, so she's really, really good. We can say that about all the pitchers, that are going to be college players that we face. So, again, we feel like that has prepared us well, and because of facing those types of competitors, our girls aren't, afraid of anyone or like, oh gosh, we have to face her or we have to play that team. We've beaten good teams in past years and this year, so we feel like they're battle tested and ready to finish out the year on a great note.
The interesting thing about high school sports, is especially when you have programs that seem to always do really well. The hard part is you're interchanging your pieces all the time.
Sure.
And so one of the things that's fascinating to me, Coach, is the coming into the year knowing what you have and knowing the players that graduate and you've got to replace, and players have to step up and step into new roles, finding out how they're going to respond to that. Coming into this year, knowing your team and the team you're going to have, has anything surprised you about some girls that maybe have to step into different roles and things like that?
Well, I wish I could say yes, but we have two freshmen that are playing for us in Kenley Cook and Emery J. Rowe. And I guess because we had seen enough of them, in travel ball and know what they can do, in some instances we're not surprised, but, they still have to do it once they get to this level. So they, the ability and what they've shown in the past, once you step on the bigger stage, and people don't think about that in travel ball, they're playing against kids that are their own age. So, but as freshmen in high school, they're now playing against 17 and 18-year-old kids where they're used to playing in 14U or 16U. But both of them played at a high level, so they've, it's not like they haven't faced great competition before, but now as a ninth grader, they're playing against older players. So both of them have done a great job of stepping right in. We lost one senior last year, our catcher, Haley Gardella. Allison Choate, as a junior last year, was hurt a good portion of the year, so now she's healthy, or at least somewhat healthy. So so she's kind of gone back to catching. She helped us out at first base and DP last year, so she's back catching again. And, outside of the two freshmen, we've got somewhat of a veteran club, even with the juniors and the sophomores, because they've all played a lot for us. We've got 5 seniors this year who or 5 senior starters that are all going to play in college. Riley Hewlett, I'll go position-wise, it's easier. Outfielder Riley Hewlett, our infielders, third baseman Aubrey Watkins, second baseman Lacey Hicks, Abby is the pitcher, and then Allison Choate as the catcher. So
you got good experience.
We do have good experience, and obviously our juniors that have started for us since they were ninth graders, Bree Duffy, Jay Bryan, our center fielder. I'm leaving off a junior. Okay. So they've been in those battles before, and they understand how tough our league is and how tough, just the metro area is in softball. And, most of them play at a pretty high level of travel ball. So it's really interesting. I know other sports like basketball or like softball and baseball in that they all play against each other outside of the school and sometimes play with each other, but then they're opponents, when it comes to the high school season. So it's kind of interesting that they all know the other players and what their strengths and weaknesses are. And I'm not going to say names, but supposedly one of our starters the other night is really good friends with one of the Forney players, and they spent the night with each other after that big game. So, that's interesting how, those dynamics work.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the nature of travel ball nowadays, right? I mean, especially all these teams. I mean, yeah, everybody. There's only so many places you can go, and it seems like everybody just knows everybody, and they're very familiar. And sometimes, like you said, they're really good friends, and
Sure.
that's just how it works out. Before we move on to Abby and Bree, last question, Coach. When you have a win and over a number one team in the area like Forney. You you got the potential. You know you can hang in there in these big games. What's the difference, the mentality to make sure that you can maintain that in your mind?
Well, part of that was answered last night, because anytime you have a big win against a team like that, it'd be really easy to have
a letdown.
The letdown, against a team that you were supposed to win against if you play well. So, and we didn't do that, and so played well on the road, and that was at Tyler. So that was one of our two
never
long
easy
trips.
traveling to East Texas.
That's right. So at least we got one of those out of the way, and our other one to Longview will be the last regular season game of this year. So hopefully we'll continue to play well. And here's the good thing about this year with how things have changed for the playoffs. We want our girls to play loose and not uptight, because a lot of times with the old way of doing the playoffs, when you had the 4 top teams that go, and if you were 4th or 3rd, you had a much tougher draw in the playoffs. And so the games were even more crucial than this year. This year I'm not going to say they're not crucial, because obviously they are, but because we're splitting into 2 teams going to Division 1, 2 teams going to Division 2, you can afford to have, an off night or 2 and it not wreck your whole season, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, hopefully teams are understanding that, and like I said, not playing uptight and just playing loose. And, whenever our girls have that mindset, they obviously play better. So.
Yeah, we're talking with Roy City softball, and it's I mean not uncommon like baseball. It's a game of failures, and you're gonna fail a lot, but it's really just about repeating the same thing and just being consistent. And then over time, the averages it should average out. And find yourselves in a position to start making a playoff run and things like that.
Sure.
Let's switch over to Abby. Abby, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. Obviously, you've put in a lot of innings. You're pitching with Roy City, having some success. I saw like over 90 strikeouts, I think, and so you're asked to do a lot. It's interesting because in baseball, there's a rotation, a switch like that. In softball, typically, you see the same arm going out every night. But it can be a lonely place, and you can everybody's staring at you every half inning. How have you embraced it, and how much fun are you having?
I don't know. I think I enjoy being in the circle because, like, I know I'm playing for the people around me, so it's more like it's not for yourself anymore. It's just for everyone else, and while all eyes are on you, they're on everybody else too.
When you're pitching in a tight game, you can tell your offense. That pitcher's like like the Forney game. It's just tight, and it's one small mistake either way. Like Forney made can be the game. But how much do you enjoy the competition part of it when you're in a game like that where it's like, all right, I've got to step up for my team because I know that it's going to be tough offensively?
I think it's just the person you are. I think growing up being a pitcher, you just like fall into that role, and like you do have to do your job here and be your best. And while I do like give up hits, like I did give up 6-7 hits in that game, I knew like those people were behind me and they were gonna back me up, but I can't continue to keep doing that. So.
Yeah, I mean, it works both ways. I think that's what makes it a team. There's going to be nights where you're off a little, and you need the offense to step up, and that's what makes a great team out there. When you look at going forward in the district and the couple of wins that you've had in a row. What's been the message for this team? What have y'all adopted that you guys are leaning on every week?
I don't know about for the team. I know for me, it's more like I know this is my senior year and like this is my last year to play, so I'm gonna put my all into every game that I go to. I know this year we have a really good bonded team. Like we're very all close, so I think we know where we stand in our district, and we know like we can't afford to like go into a game halfway and not play our full and give it our all, or it's not gonna go our way.
Yeah, I mean, total commitment, total buy-in from everyone. Coach, you talk about your pitcher, and just the job that's asked of a softball pitcher, and,
Sure.
and the amount of time that they spend out there in the circle. What do you demand out of them, and how pleased have you been with what you've got in return?
Well, first of all, you'd mentioned how sometimes offense is off, and sometimes maybe a pitcher doesn't have their best game. But we've been very fortunate. So this is Abby's third year to be our main pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
When she was a freshman, she was the number 2 pitcher to the senior Kaylee Schmitz that
Mm-hmm.
led us to the regional
Mm-hmm.
final. I think I looked the other day. I think you were like 5-0 with like 42 strikeouts or something. So, you know, um, so she's been the starter or the ace, so to speak, for 3 years, and we've been very fortunate that she's been so durable and spot on most times. I mean, I think she's averaging 1 game per season that you could say, okay, that wasn't her best game. And so for most pitchers, that is not normal. Most pitchers are going to say, oh, I had 3, off games this season. If you had told any coach before any season, much less 3, that, hey, this pitcher is going to average 1 average outing per year, you would definitely take that and say, thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
But she's been great throughout her career. So she's at 99 strikeouts after last night for this season. And I know she doesn't know it, and I don't look at these totals all the time, but I knew that she was approaching a milestone, so I did kind of add up. So right now for her career, she is exactly at 550 strikeouts.
Wow.
So 600.
Is that good?
Knock on wood. No pitching injuries. We always joke about that. No injuries, then she'll see 600 plus.
Yeah,
So.
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it just speaks to work ethic and confidence in yourself, and then believing in the girls around you, and then obviously, I mentioned it during the baseball interview. I mean, you have to have fun. You have to enjoy it, and you have to enjoy the moments, the pressure moments, the blowout wins. You have to enjoy it all, or else you'll find yourself really struggling to find your groove out there. But if you're having fun, then you just let the ball fly whenever it leaves your hand. So congratulations. We'll be looking out for 600, no pressure, and if you work a little bit harder, you won't have that one bad game a year. I mean, we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. But
that's when the bats, Bree, have to pick it up, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So Bree obviously is having a great year. She's had 2 great years going into this one. It's kind of crazy. I haven't added them all up because she's not exactly near a milestone, but she has an opportunity this year as a junior to set some new career records. We don't list all those because we don't list career records until after, their senior year is over. But she's hitting 558 with 8 home runs, 30 RBIs.
I didn't even see it, and I wrote it down, and I didn't even have to.
Abby's second with 26.
Oh.
She really stepped up last year as a, because most pitchers are pitchers only. And pitchers joke about that all the time. Hey, I'm not a PO, So she stepped up big for us last year offensively, and, she just continued that this year. So they're both swinging the bats really well. We feel like throughout our lineup, we're swinging the bats pretty well. It's hard to do that night after night because it's hitting's hard. It's
Yeah.
other than, I know you're a golfer. Other than golf, I'll say it's one of the most difficult things in sports.
I would say hitting a baseball or a softball has to be harder than hitting a golf ball. But maybe that's because I don't do it. I'm sure you would say no, hitting a golf ball is extremely hard. But I know baseball players and some hockey players that can pick up golf in an instant and they can hit it really far. I've seen Jet Williams and I've seen Braden Randall at Rockwall. I've seen them hit a golf ball and I'm like, how are you hitting that? Because there would be no way that I could step up and hit a pitch you're throwing because it's just a different thing. But it's really hard. Yeah, you're right, Coach. It's just a difficult thing to do, and so to breed it, to have consistency like that early on in the year, and then last year. What's your work ethic like? You've got to be having a lot of fun doing it, or else you wouldn't have success. But what is all that like for you?
Yeah, so I go into practice every day. I love my teammates. I make sure to have fun, but also you have to take it seriously. So every day I go out there, I just work my butt off and just go through every motion on what I can do to get better and just be me.
It looks fun to be Bree. So I'm sure that's a good thing. When you start, when you're having the success you're having and you're on a roll, we see this all the time in these sports of baseball and softball. You get pitched different, and it becomes harder and harder and harder to see some pitches that you like. It can be a frustrating thing, but what's your approach, knowing that hey, I may not get my opportunity here, but it'll come later. Obviously, it's showing you've done some damage at the plate. But as you get into district play and you get into playoffs, it starts magnifying itself. How do you maintain your composure and just make sure that's like, hey, I'm just gonna if I'm gonna see a walk, I'm gonna get on. That's how it's gonna be. How do you maintain your composure through that?
So when I just think about my team, I bat 4 holes. So if there's somebody on base, I just try to move them around, and my mindset is just hit whatever she misses or hit whatever I see that looks good. So
it's again the amount of focus and concentration.
Yeah.
It's not easy to there's a lot of different things going on, and then you have to deal with the actual pitch itself,
Yeah.
and you've got to go through that motion of it. I know you probably don't. We talk about individual milestones and records and averages and all these things, but the important part to you, what's the important part to you as being part of this Forest City team?
just I have the most amazing teammates and coaches. I feel like we all just click. My freshman year, I came in and I was scared, a little scared, because I didn't know like how they would look at me. But as soon as I got into this program, I was just welcomed with open arms and awesome teammates and coaches, as I said. So
Well, you mentioned it, so it made me think of we mentioned 2 freshmen that are out there. That experience of you being scared and you not knowing how you'll be accepted, that had to that has to pay off now when you see younger come in and what they're probably feeling. How important is all that to now knowing back then what and now it's like, okay, I see a freshman coming in, I need to make them welcome. How
Yeah.
important is that part of it all?
Well, I just try my hardest to have bonds with everybody. The new freshmen this year, we haven't been playing for that long, but we are so close with them, and it's just really cool to see how quick we click together and I see how they are welcomed by the way they act, because we all just joking around in practice, and I just feel like we did a really good job with welcoming them in this year.
Yeah,
I will say, with having 2 freshman starters, most of our core players, that have a lot of experience, have done a good job of mentoring them, or, whenever they have a poor at bat or make a mistake in the field, they're always picking them up and helping them to understand that no one's perfect. You don't have to, certainly don't have to be perfect as a freshman. We don't
Yeah.
expect them to be. But
They're freshmen. They're going to make mistakes.
That's true. So, but at the same time, you mentioned, statistics and records and all that. But, I tell teams all the time, and we've been fortunate that we've been successful, as a team for a long time. But, I always tell them that their 10 and 20-year reunions, they might talk a little bit about, how far you went or what your record was or who was the best pitcher or hitter. But that's minimal. They're going to talk about all the goofiness.
Yeah. They're going to talk about Bree's home run against Forney.
Well, they will probably talk about that. But, it's all the other things, the road trips,
100%.
the eating bad food sometimes, and, funny things they do preparing for a game. It's all those little things that you're going to talk about that more than who set the record for this or whatever. So.
Yeah, I mentioned it, and I have, I say this all the time, and I act like I'm the one that thought of this, but I actually heard it at a Heath playoff football game. They lost on the road in San Antonio, and Coach Spradlin, sometimes I'll listen into the post-game speeches, and, everybody's upset, and it's always a tough deal losing the last game of the year. But he talked about the journey of it all, and that's what it's about. It's not about the wins and losses. It's about the road trips. It's about the goofy times. It's about just all the memories that you're going to take with you, that just like you talked about, Coach, when you come back in 10, 20 years. It's the journey, and, the wins and losses will come, but we won't always remember those, but we'll remember personalities. We'll remember the times, and that's what sticks with me. I start thinking about past softball teams and baseball teams or basketball teams. There's kids that stick out. It's just like, because you remember that was what I remember. I couldn't tell you what their record was or how good they were, but I do remember those things. So it's a great point. And you're right. I'm sure while the road trips east are long, there's nothing better, in my experience, talking with kids than the bus rides. I'm sure y'all enjoy that immensely. So, Coach, girls, good luck the rest of the way. What do you got next?
So we play Rockwall Heath at home Friday evening, and then we've got just one next week because it's spring break, and that's our everyone in the district has an off day each rotation. So we'll play North Forney next Tuesday, and then we'll be off for the rest of spring break. So it was good timing for us.
Yeah, perfect. And I'm always interested in why they do baseball. They have the series. Roy City was at Rockwall and they'll play, but y'all do a round. You play the first round, then the second round.
Well, so baseball years ago was just like softball. It was just you played a different opponent Tuesday and Friday night, but. Because baseball has a staff and you're going to have, two different starters Tuesday, Friday, different relievers, it was probably more fair so that in a series, when you're playing a series in 1 week, you get to see everyone's pitchers in baseball.
Right.
And plus they also have to deal with the pitch count limit. So there's, strategy involved. And so it makes their game better to be able to play a series in 1 week. Whereas, like you'd mentioned earlier, usually it's primarily the same pitcher that's going to throw. So it's not going to matter,
as much. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It matters in the playoffs whenever we might have to play 3 days in a row in the heat.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, no, it's that makes sense. It makes for great drama on the baseball side because Friday night at Roy City is going to be in the baseball side. That's going to be, Rockwall is going to be hungry, and Roy City is going to be like, yeah, we can play, and it's gonna make for some a fun atmosphere out there.
So I will say at both of our parks, especially when we each play on the same night, our fans are great. But like I said, even if it's just one of us, baseball at home only or softball at home only, we have been fortunate over the years to have a lot of fan support, and they're loud and get behind our kids. And so it's even better, whenever both teams are playing on the same night. It makes for an electric atmosphere.
Yeah, it makes for a difficult night if you're a media person because you're like, last night I was like, okay, I went first few innings at the Rockwall at the baseball game, and then the girls softball, they were playing a non-district game next door. So I was running over there and I was trying to get some, and then I was like, well, they're in between innings, so now I'm going to run back. I was just not in a good spot. I was just messing up the entire night, to the point where I even last night, the first 2 home runs, I was actually making a post that Royce, about after the first inning and things like that, and then I sat down and I was like, all right, well, time to get the camera back up, and then boom, home run. And so then I'm like, I'm like, well, maybe I'll get in a different position now, and then boom, and home run, and I'm like, okay, this is just not my night. And there's nights like that. Even the camera guys have off nights, but hopefully the average will work out over the year, and I'll get enough memories. Coach, girls, good luck. Good luck to you Friday night. Enjoy what break you have during the spring break, and I know we'll see you again this year down the road soon enough. So I just appreciate you guys coming on and keep tearing it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us as always.
Absolutely. Yes. All right, that's going to do it for us. Enjoy the night. We appreciate Coach Williams and the basketball team. Congratulations on their year, making it to the regional finals once again. Coach Rose and the baseball team, they'll look for a bounce back win. I know they're not looking for them to have a bounce back win at Roy City, but I know that they're hungry to play that game on Friday. The new Rockwall ISD AD visited us, Greg Priest. It was really great catching up with him, and it's going to be awesome to see him do some cool things in Rockwall. And then, of course, Roy City, the Lady Bulldogs, great way to end the night. So we appreciate everyone out there who viewed. Looks like about 600-700. I got 300 on here, and I'm not even counting all the other social media places. So a good night for a show. Enjoy spring break. I'm taking off Friday morning at 3 a.m., driving to Florida with the family. So I will return on the 24th. So on the 26th, I'll be back in business. And on the 27th, we'll have another show. And we'll see who we have representing up here for Royce City. Until then, I'm Chris Pena. We're live here at Rockwall Ford. We'll see you on game day. And we appreciate all the support out there. Have a good night and go Bulldogs.
Yes.